Welcome to Lunch with the Doc. Hey, this is January 16th, and my sweet daughter Maria with the broken fibula is over there getting all the cameras all set, and she's going to hop along on over here and join me. This one's going to be fun. I don't know if you've ever been taken through a process to not only set goals for your new year, but also to navigate through what are the obstacles involved with actually achieving and realizing those goals. And so we have a process to help you navigate through that. So that's what we're going to do today. And if there's anybody that has questions that they want to send in, we'll check the cameras, during the process.
Hello.
There she is.
Crutches and all. You know what's good about being in this family? Well, one of the many things is I have so many tools to get my bones better quickly.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Eyes.
Eyes. Gotta have
You
the
say
eyes.
cheers, you gotta see the eyes.
I've been doing PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, to help the bone heal quicker. I've been doing cold laser therapy. I've been taking supplements, bone builder, fish oils. I've been
Vitamin D.
I've been putting on arnica cream and frankincense and lemongrass oil and all the goods. So healing is upon us.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Well, Happy New Year, you guys. Last week we did a special question and answer episode. It was super fun. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And today we're talking about your resolutions and just giving you a really good strategy to think through, what are my resolutions and what's my strategy to get there. I think sometimes, beginning of the year, we create resolutions. We're super excited. I want to do this, want to do that. But unless we have a really good action plan to put those in place, we might not end up reaching those resolutions. So that's what we want to talk about today, is just giving you an action plan and a strategy to really help you get to where you want to be.
And this worksheet, is that something that they could call or email you?
Yeah.
Good. We put together a worksheet. It's called Marching Orders, and it talks about what the situation is, what the goal is, what's your motivation, your why, what are the obstacles to achieving it, and then what are the root causes. So that's one, and then beyond that, you have your actual action steps behind that. So
with accountability.
This is all available for you to just call in 949-497-2553, Health in Balance. And can they email you at something?
Yeah, you can find all our contact information on our website. You can DM us on Instagram, message us on Facebook, however you want to contact us. It's all up there. You can find us there. So first I want to talk about 4 little ingredients, as if you were making a cake for your New Year's resolutions. What 4 ingredients do you really need to get where you want to be? And then we're going to talk about the implementation strategy. But 4 main ingredients. So number 1 is awareness. So sometimes we see the things in our life that we want to change, and we're kind of like, I don't even want to almost like accept it because I want it to change. But unless we accept something and bring awareness to it, there's never going to be change. We have to accept how it is right now, become aware of it, and then we can move towards change. So first ingredient for your cake is awareness, which is a good thing. Leads to change. Secondly is a strategy, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So you need a strategy. Change doesn't just happen on its own. I think the definition of insanity is that there will be change. Wait, how does it go?
Well, it was that guy named Einstein that my wife said my hair kind of looks like when it grows out, now that it's kind of whitish. So that's why I'm keeping it kind of buzz short now. I respect Einstein, just, I don't want to look like Einstein. But awareness precedes change was the first one. He didn't say that, but another famous doctor did. But this one is insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting to get different results.
Yes. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting to get different results. So if you don't have a strategy to put a change in place, you're just doing the same thing, but you're just hoping, like, because I've made this goal, change is going to happen. So really, it's if you have a strategy, that's where change can actually occur. So we're going to talk about the strategy today. But the third ingredient is visualization and belief. So I've been reading all these books lately about the power of the mind and just how important our own belief is in bringing about change in our lives. I'm reading a book called Switch on Your Brain by Dr. Caroline Leaf. It's amazing. It's all about detoxing your mind, and it talks about just these amazing studies about the power of the mind and how really when we detox and we change our thinking, that we can bring about change, and how sometimes we think that our minds are kind of stuck the way they are, but more and more studies are showing how plastic and changeable our minds are. And then I was reading a book called You Are the Placebo by Joe Dispenza, and he talks about the placebo effect, the power of the mind, and bringing change in our bodies and our health and everything. So amazing books. So visualization and belief are so important in order to bring about change in your life. Really visualizing how you want it to be. If it's something about your health, visualize your body, visualize yourself doing the things that you want to do once you're better. For me, it's been my voice. I've had voice issues for a few years, so I've visualized myself singing how I want to sing. I visualized my vocal cords physically healed. So use those visualizations and believe that change is possible. It's going to bring about change.
Henry Ford actually said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That's good.
Henry Ford.
I like that. If you think you can or if you think you can't, you're right either way.
Yep.
And then the fourth ingredient for your
I think it was his mom that told him that. I think it was his mom. One of those womanly wisdom things that helps a son to think about what's possible, but also realize if he thinks wrong about it, it's not possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So your fourth ingredient is to create a support team. So we all know that there's so many studies out there that show that when there's accountability, that's when change really happens. That's when people have success and results. They find that in weight loss. They find that in business, so many different things. You need accountability and you need a support team around you. So find those people in your life that are going to help encourage you towards change, that are going to be there as your cheerleaders, and the ones that not only are going to encourage you, but are going to have the tools and the resources that you need in order to make those changes. So, I mean, that's one thing that we do. We are a support team for so many people in their lives, bringing about change in their health, giving them the resources and the help that they need to really do what they want to do. I mean, my dad's been my support team all along, my doctor, my dad, helping me with so many life changes, so in my health and just in my life. So support teams are very needed.
What's the acronym for team?
Together, everyone achieves more.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's my girl. That's my girl.
A plus. So those are your 4 ingredients for your resolution cake. That's what you need. So now we're going to take you through like a marching order strategy. And this is, like you said, it's a worksheet that we have, and it's really helpful to help you map out everything and really bring about change. So start us off.
This one page can work for probably about 4 situations that you've got in your life that you want to see be different. So the first one basically is the situation. What is it? Where are your current challenges? Focus on your health if you'd like, or anything else. It can be applied to your family, your work, your finances, your relationship, your spiritual life, a relationship with, husband, wife, child. Where is it currently at? So that's where you take a moment, you go, okay, where is my attention? See things aren't really the way that I would like them to be. All right. Second
and that kind of links into awareness.
True.
Similar, you're just saying, what is the situation? What is it right now? We're accepting, we're defining what it is, so that then we can see where we want to go.
Exactly. Next is the goal. So the goal, what could it be? What do I really want it to be? What would it look like if I were healthy, active, energetic, pain-free? Picture myself there. Give some examples of what my life would look like. So whatever the situation is you'd like to see improve, just write down what the goal is and what that feels like, what that looks like, what you're doing, how you're living.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Anything you want to say about that?
No.
Which it kind of goes into your second ingredient of visualization and belief.
Yeah.
Or what you really want to see it look
Totally.
like.
Visualizing it, picturing that goal.
Now the next one is motivation. That's our why. Why do we want it?
Bingo.
Why
This
is it
important.
valuable to me?
Mm-hmm.
What will my quality of life be like 5 to 10 years from now if I do something about it? But also, what will it be like if I don't do something about it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, studies have shown that the avoidance of pain is 2 times stronger of a motivator as the gaining of pleasure.
Wow.
So if you're, avoiding pain, we talked about Scrooge before.
Mm-hmm.
Scrooge, when he saw what his future looked
Scrooge.
like, he decided, I don't want to be that guy that everybody hated, and everybody was glad that he was dead. So,
Sad.
so he ended up changing. And I know for me, when I saw my x-rays when I was 26 and almost 27, I already saw that the effects of my earlier accidents had left me with an abnormal curvature, loss of curve in my neck, and my head was way too far forward. And I actually started to see that what that would do is it would lead to degenerative arthritis and bone spurs. And that really scared me. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, man, I don't want to let this happen to myself. Mm-hmm. And that's what allowed me to take action once I knew what a strategy was. And that I realized that this job wasn't about just having the symptoms go away for a short time. This was about fixing the problem altogether so that the problem didn't come back. Mm-hmm. And to this day, that problem hasn't come back. And that was a long time ago. Let's see.
How long ago?
26, 38 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
But to determine your why, this is such an important step. Really, if you don't know why you're doing something, you're going to lose steam, you're going to lose motivation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not going to happen pretty much. So determine your why and really dig deep. Take some time to really decide, really what is my motivation for this, and as the deeper you go, the more that you can really clearly define that why, the more success you're going to have. So take some time on that step and really...
Yeah, you see yourself on a vacation being able to walk without pain, maybe even go for a walk through Florence, or do a little hiking, or ride a bike, or play some tennis, or be able to dance. A lot of these things that people, they start seeing their capacity decrease and decrease. It's a slow decline, and it's a lot harder to get back up to do something about it. That's why it's better not to let yourself slide too far down the hill.
Yes, very true.
All right, now what is the next one?
The next one is obstacles. So defining what are your obstacles, what are your hesitations that are going to keep you from going where you want to go. So, what's holding you back? Is it time? Do you feel like I want to make this change, but I just don't know if I have the time to really implement this in my life? Is it finances? Saying, okay, there's these things that I really want to do, but how am I going to make this work financially? Do I have the funds? And determining, what are the ways that you can get those funds that you need. Maybe there's someone in your life that can help you with this. Maybe you can pick up an extra job, you can sell some clothes, whatever it might be. But really determining, okay, is that an obstacle for me and how can I move past that? Are there behaviors that are going to keep you from doing the things you want? A lot of times we want to make changes in our health or in our relationships, but the patterns that we've created and the behaviors that we walk in don't allow us to change. So it takes time to change those behaviors. So define what are those behaviors that could get in the way. How can I move past them? Is it a lack of motivation? Are you unsure about if this is what you really want? So define, and if you can define what those obstacles are before you get to them, then you're going to say, oh, hey, obstacle, I knew you were coming, and here's my plan to get around you, rather than being like, oh my gosh, this is going to keep me from doing it, I give up. So define those things early. You'll be much better off.
Good point. It is interesting as we all study our own human nature and the human nature of others. The motivation, let's say, to upgrade your car. A nice car is somewhere between $20,000 and $60,000. That's a decent amount of money. But if we pay it off over the course of 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, what have you, then it's worthwhile. We make it something that's affordable that we can pay off on a monthly basis, and we finance it. That's a lot of times what it takes if you're running into the money problem. It's just like, well, I couldn't lay down cash to buy this house in 1993, but I could take on a 30-year mortgage and, pay for it that way. So you got to just figure, if it has enough value and you're motivated and you know what it's going to bring to your life, then you figure out a way. So
Sure.
And then what are the root causes? So what is the cause of the situation that we started with? What is really going on? And is it, if it's in a relationship, is it something that happened 30 years ago with your brother or your sister or your mom or your dad or your husband? What is the root cause? Where did things go sideways? Where was there a break in our affinity for each other? And we don't communicate very much anymore, and we just see things differently. When did all that start? What was going on? And sometimes when you take it back that far, then the root causes actually, oh yeah, I remember. I borrowed my brother's car without asking, and I got in an accident. And ever since that, no, I didn't do that. I'm just bringing up an example that I could relate to, because I did actually do something bad to my brother's car, though. He said I could drive it to football practice, and I was going down a street, and it was a 396 Chevelle Super Sport, 1967, beautiful, and he had gotten new headers put on it, and I drove down this road, and there was a little bump, and the road was being repaved, and the bottom of the headers hit on a manhole cover, and I tore the bottom of his new headers off his car.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we got over it. I apologized. I paid for it. It didn't sit there and stew, because he had said I could borrow his car. So.
Okay.
But I'm just using examples. We just look at what are the root causes, and then that's where you start to sort it out from there. Now, based on what the root causes are, now you go into the situation. What are your marching orders? Go ahead.
And before we get to that, on root causes, that's something that I love so much about Health and Balance. And what you guys do as doctors is really, we are about finding the root causes. A lot of medicine out there is kind of a Band-Aid. It's like, okay, let's just get the pain relieved. Let's take medication to just kind of make you able to deal with life and live each day, and sometimes that's needed. But when we can really get to what is causing this problem in your health, that's when you're going to really find lasting change and a true solution and restoration and real healing. So I love that, and I think it's so important for us to really have people around us in our lives that can help us find the root cause, have doctors that can really take a deeper look and say, you know what, yeah, this is happening, and we could just do something easy and quick and make you feel better for a few months, or we can really get to this root issue, change it on a core level, and then you're going to find flourishing life is truly possible. So
just to piggyback on that for a minute, a lot of patients really want to know and understand things, and some of them really just don't. They just want to know, can you help me? I don't need to understand how it happened or why it happened or anything. So I try not to be too verbose and explain too much, but I think just understanding the causes of how we got there, and that helps to uncover the strategy of how we get out of there. So, like for example, people that have been injured, those injuries have a tendency to cause an inflammatory response, and then the body goes into a repair stage where it lays down scar tissue for the next 12 weeks. But when I was growing up, it's like if you get hurt, if it's not broken and it's not bleeding, you'll be fine, kid. Well, now the scientists understand and doctors understand that to rehabilitate, it has to be kept moving over those 12 weeks so you don't end up with a wad of scar tissue that then distorts your posture, because we know that if your posture is distorted, you're going to have degenerative arthritis wherever the distortion is, because gravity is jamming it down, and then it causes the bone to be under so much structural stress that the body says, send me reinforcements. It sends calcium, phosphorus into the scar tissue, and now you have degenerative arthritis, which then leads to more pain, more impingement, disc herniations, and now we're looking at surgeries. And then surgeries have their shortcomings as well. So sometimes surgery is what you have to do. And I have a great group of surgeons that I work with. But, you know, they're usually of the mind that if we can avoid having to have surgery, that's even that much better. So anyhow, marching orders. Okay, these are action steps to overcome the obstacles and achieve my goals.
Take action.
What, how, who, and when. What steps will I take to bridge the gap between my current situation and where I want to be? So I've just been doing that this new year too. I've already taken some big actions towards some goals, and I've already made some big progress. Like I finally got my last class and test done to become a doctor of naturopathic medicine, which is what I set out to do in 1975. That was my goal for my wife and I. But back until the late 90s, it wasn't legal to be a naturopath in California. So anyhow, it was always on my radar that I wanted to do it. So I finally finished that.
Yeah.
And that was good.
And you had always had almost all of the training. You just had to finish up.
I had to do some continuing education, and we just chose to do naturopathic medicine with our chiropractic license and do chiropractic as well, and postural stuff. So it's that, you know, that was just an action that I took, and I finished it. Now I got the goal. So this is where you kind of think about, okay, how am I going to overcome the obstacle, and then what am I going to do, and when am I going to do it, and do I need anybody's help? Do I need anybody to hold me accountable that I will do it? Yep. So I used my daughter's help on the. I said I want to be accountable that on January, I think it was January 2nd. No, it was the day after Christmas. Day after Christmas, I'm going to do this. And Aria, I'm going to talk to you about being accountable on this. And Maria did it with her too. And it's like, okay, Dad, you're going to do it, right? I said, yeah, okay, I'm going to do it. Yep.
So we did it.
Got it done. Yep.
So action steps, I think that's kind of the fun, one of the fun parts, you know, it's fun to take action, it's fun to make changes, you just got to be consistent. Consistency is key, so make your action steps and stick with them. So then after you take action, measure your results. How are you doing? You know, reflect and assess. Do we need to change the strategy at all? And then if you do, take action again and repeat it and keep on doing that process until you have the victory. And at the end is really neat. It's a declarative statement. What is my resolve and commitment that I am making right now, and put it in writing? I will do this, and this is when I'll have it done by, and this is why I'm going to do it, and who are you accountable to? So I challenge all of you out there watching to do that right now as you're listening. Write your declarative statement. What is it that you want to change? What are you committed to doing? And who are you accountable to? You got to start with a commitment. So this is your commitment that you're making right now. So that's kind of your strategy. Let me make sure this is going. So what are your last words of wisdom, Dr. G?
I think the reality is you know, you can do it. You can. I mean, I'm not going to make a declarative statement that I'm going to play for the Lakers. I'm pretty sure old guys that aren't very fast, can't jump very high, that I just don't fit the model of being a Laker. So let's be realistic. I probably won't be on the cover of Fitness Magazine. I probably won't. I don't really.
You never know.
Well, they don't really have a
If you
magazine.
say you can't, you can't.
Well, I'm just saying they don't have a magazine, Old Guy Fitness. But maybe that's a niche. Old Guy Fitness magazine. Maybe that's it. So be realistic. Have fun with it. Give us a call or contact us if you want a little framework to work through. I hope it's a good year for you, and you just go out and get it. Have some fun doing it.
Go get it. You
All
got
right.
this. Happy New Year. 2019 is going to be a great year for all of us.
And like our good friend Mara James says, you are amazing.
Ooh, yeah.
Piggy Bear says that too.
All right.